Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, ENT podcast. This is Erik.
Tim.
All right, before we get into things today, I just want to say congratulations to the Boston Red Sox winning the World Series.
The World Cup.
The World Cup of baseball.
The World Series against the Dodgers.
5 games, 27 points to 23. And now moving into the games. Thursday, Raiders at 49ers. Terrible watch. This is the worst Thursday night game of the year.
Garbage, but it's 49ers.
Yeah, it's 49ers all the way. I want John Gruden to get fired this year somehow.
Can't.
I know they can't.
They can't.
They can't. Their backs are against the wall, but he shouldn't be able to take those draft picks.
Yeah. You should fire him and leave all the draft picks too.
That's exactly what would happen.
Yeah.
You don't take the draft picks as what? All right, moving on. Sunday, 1:00. Falcons at Redskins. Redskins on a hot streak this year. They have a legit defense.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about it later, but that recent trade for Clinton Dix strengthens their secondary.
Yes.
The Redskins are a legitimate, playoff contender. I wouldn't go anything farther than that. They're going to lose in the first or second round, but they'll get there.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Falcons, I think, have just been decimated by injuries too much to put up a fight for the playoffs this year, especially in their division.
Now, I would also say that, but I'm actually picking the Falcons in this game.
Do you think it's just going to be one of those worst season?
The Falcons are consistently scoring like 30 points a game. The Redskins are not.
And they do it mostly through the air, which is what you have to do. You can't run the ball against the Redskins.
Mm-hmm. I think the Falcons win this game.
I'm going to say the Redskins mainly because what they can do on offense is run the ball with Adrian Peterson and not let Matt Ryan throw it for 1 million yards and 1 million touchdowns, which is what they're going to do, in my opinion, and that's why the Redskins are going to win. They're going to hold the ball, and they're going to run it out, and I think that's how they win.
Your funeral, man.
My funeral? I guess so. All right, moving on. Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens won the reverse fixture in Pittsburgh. Little soccer terminology for you people.
At a loss.
I'm going to take the Ravens again. They have a better defense than the Steelers. They don't have a better offense, but I think they sort of are more together. They're coached better. They're sort of playing as a team right now and not as a bunch of individuals on the field.
Now, I'm going to pick the Steelers, mainly because the Ravens lost to the Browns.
Now I know.
And the Steelers have consistently
beat the Ravens or tied.
They did. 12-9. It was kind of garbage.
You're right. It was. I don't remember that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the Steelers.
Why are you bringing up ghosts? Why are you bringing that up?
Because it matters, man.
But the Ravens beat the Steelers.
I don't care.
What?
I don't care. The Steelers are a better team right now. The Ravens started off pretty hot. Defense as well. It's just not the same anymore.
I don't want to be overreaction. I don't want to overreact.
33.
I know, but I know that. I don't think the Steelers will.
I think they will.
All right, we're gonna see. I'm gonna pick the Ravens. You're gonna pick the Steelers.
The Steelers' offense is back up and booming.
I'm sure that's just what they want you to think.
What do you mean? Right. No, that's what everybody thinks.
Moving on.
They're doing very well.
Jets at Dolphins. Another snooze fest.
Another division matchup.
Looking at this game,
the
Jets actually for once have a better quarterback.
They do.
But other than that, they don't have anything.
I would say they have better.
Have you seen the receiving core lately? It's people I've literally never heard of before in my whole entire life.
So they cut Terrell Pryor, and then they offered him a contract again. Because Robbie Anderson.
And Terrell Pryor signed with the Bills. So
he did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Quincy Newell is probably going to be out again.
Yeah. So then there's Jermaine Kearse.
Who I think is banged up. Is he not?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't see
Sam Darnold throwing to anyone.
Still picking the Jets.
I'm going to pick the Dolphins just based on the fact that I think they have more talent. Not better coaching, though.
I would definitely not say better coaching.
Moving on. Buccaneers at Panthers. This is this is an easy one for me. I'm going to pick the Panthers.
Yeah, this is a lock.
Quite the lock. Moving on. Lions at Vikings. Another 1:00 game. This is tough just because it's a divisional game. If this wasn't a divisional game, I would pick the Vikings by over a touchdown. But just because there's some bad blood between these teams, it's a rivalry. I think it'll be close. I think the Vikings will still win. They have a better offense and a better defense. That usually means you win the game. and a better coaching staff, it looks like the Vikings are going to win the game.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah, definitely. Vikings, they're a solid team. Can't really expect them to lose this.
You can't. And if they're saying they're a contender, they have to beat teams like the Lions.
Sure do.
Moving on.
It would just be like exactly.
It'd be
what
so
Kirk
Lions
Cousins wanted
to win, and it'd be so Kirk Cousins
to lose
to the Lions.
9-7
Yeah.
again.
No matter what team, he will be 9-7 every year.
You paid for it.
Moving on. 1:00 game. Chiefs at Browns.
This is a lock. There is no way. The Browns don't even have a head coach right now.
Yeah, or an offensive coordinator.
Like, what are they expecting to do?
And the Chiefs have a whole lot.
The Chiefs have a 35-point offense every single game.
And I know the Browns' defense is no slouch. They actually have a decent defensive unit, and that's the only coach that stayed on.
The Chiefs have played some solid.
I know. I'm just saying the one aspect, at least, of their team is that they have a good defense.
No, the Chiefs win this game.
Saying that the Chiefs are going to win by 20.
I wouldn't say that.
You think the Chiefs will win by 20 at least?
No, I'd say 2 touchdowns.
All right,
17, 20 points maximum.
I think it's going to be 30-3. That's my score prediction. Last 1:00 game, Bears at Bills. I think we watched Monday what the Bills are capable of on the best situation.
Their defense is solid, but still not great.
They have a solid defense,
and then their offense is as good
with an elderly quarterback.
Yes,
who did make better throws than Josh Allen. I want to point that out. He was more reliable on third down than Josh Allen. Yeah. Just want to say it. I'm going to pick the Bears here. I think they're going to dominate in a low-scoring game. But I think they'll dominate.
Dominate this low-scoring 6-0 game.
It was never close except for the whole game. First 4:00 game, Chargers at Seahawks. 2 years ago, this would have been an interesting game.
I think this is an easy game to pick.
I agree. I'm going to pick the Chargers.
The Chargers can't be stopped.
No.
They're on a streak. They're scoring, they're preventing, they're doing everything they need to.
They're looking like how they should.
Yeah, they're looking like how they predicted them to be.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting with the Chargers and the Chiefs. I know the Chargers can never beat the Chiefs, but maybe this year's the year. And the Seahawks shouldn't make the playoffs if we're going to be fair.
I think they can.
I think they can, but talent-wise, I don't think they deserve it.
No. They don't deserve to be right on the board.
They should have to knee out their season because they're so boring.
Russell Wilson can't throw for a perfect passer rating anymore.
No, so why watch? Next game, Texans at Broncos. Hilarious that Devarius Thomas switched teams just to play his former team the next week. Hopefully he plays.
I don't think he will. It's not enough time to learn an offense.
Just to throw at their face, though. Just to make them mad.
10 plays.
Yeah, because it's in Denver. Yeah. You got to give him 10 plays, like a shot play. I want him to catch a touchdown. Yeah. And the fans to cheer for him, because it's still going to be a wound healing. I'm picking the Texans in this game.
Me too. I think they're on a streak. Won the last 5. I don't think they can really be stopped.
Not by the Broncos.
I think they can do some damage in their division. Coming from quite a weak division.
Yeah, that's true. Moving on to probably the game of the week, Rams. Rams at Saints
are taking on the Saints.
So looking at this game, I see very similar powered offenses. They do it in a little bit of a different way, but both the Saints and the Rams score like hell.
I would say the Rams' defense is better.
Especially with the addition of Dante Fowler.
Of course.
Now, I'm going to say Drew Brees does some Drew Brees-esque stellar quarterback work and wins this game at home.
Now,
which is going to have to happen because the Rams are probably the best team in the league. So beating them is going to take the best Saints team. Mm-hmm. If they do that, if everyone plays well on defense, I think they can win. They have one of the best run defenses in the league, which is weird to say.
It is really weird.
So,
I don't think that's enough to stop Todd Gurley.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
They're going to have to score every drive.
Yes.
I'm looking for an aggressive Saints
I'm picking
team.
the Rams to win this one. And it's really hard for me to do that because I really like the Saints. I think they're a Super Bowl contender this year. But the Rams
so good.
Are just
I understand that.
Fast, as in they're going to score immediately.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Saints.
I'm looking for a big game from Mark Ingram here controlling the ball.
Yeah,
controlling
I
the
think
game.
that's one of their things is they have to waste out the clock, and they have to score continuously. But the Rams will score in 2 minutes.
Yeah, like ideally when they score to end a quarter, like halftime or the end of the game, they have to leave at most 20 seconds, and still it's kind of iffy.
Yeah, that's like 3 plays, and they're in field goal range.
And Brendan Cooks is fast. So
all
fast.
their receivers are great.
All right, moving on to the Sunday night game. Very good game. Packers at Patriots. Brady Rogers Bowl.
This is such a tough game to pick. After seeing what the Packers did to the Rams last week, I'm actually going to pick them to win this game because I think they can do it. The only thing, I think the Packers would have won that game if Ty Montgomery didn't exist.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
they're, at the very least, they would have had a very good chance.
And at that point, I would rank them. Yeah, I would say the Packers would definitely win this game.
Now, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to look at this from a couple angles.
Mostly the I'm a Patriots fan angle.
No, I'm going to try to be non-biased here, okay? This is where I look at it.
Our aging quarterback.
Stages of the game. Offensively, the Patriots have a better offense. Because they're more dynamic.
Yes.
Because they can do more than one thing.
As if you're saying as a talented offense, as in like what they're capable of,
I would say
the Packers are better capable offense.
I mean, Devontae Adams,
Jimmy Graham,
Rob Gronkowski,
Aaron Jones,
Sony Michel, and James White. Sony Michel could play. James White's a better running back than anyone the Packers have. Josh Gordon, not right now. What do you mean? Did you just question my James White call?
I would say Aaron Jones is more of a better running back than James White right now. James White is a receiving back. He's a better running back in the Patriots offense than Aaron Jones is in the Packers offense, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Talent-wise.
Wide receiver-wise, Devontae Adams now is better than Josh Gordon. Of course. Josh Gordon is close. Yeah. Maybe week by week he's getting better. Rob Gronkowski leagues ahead of Jimmy Graham. We have a better slot guy, Edelman over Cobb.
Wait a minute. As of right now, Rob Gronkowski's not that far ahead of Jimmy Graham.
He is.
Production-wise, he's not.
Production-wise, no, because the Patriots are like, we only want to use you when we need to. Because he's a machine that breaks down.
I don't know. I mean, you can't really count it then.
You can count it because when they need him, he's better. Producing. He's not producing because we don't need him to.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you then if you don't need him to?
Because we don't want him to get hurt. Have you seen him? He's a delicate flower.
He still plays the whole game, though.
We're not throwing it to him over the middle. We're not putting him into... The Patriots are not putting him into positions to hurt themselves.
Coming like a real Patriots fan.
You know? No. All right. Defensively, it gets tough for both teams.
I would say the Packers' defense is right now better than
run stopping. I would agree with you.
I would say their secondary is young but talented.
I think their secondary is worse, especially with Hawkins and Dix. I think the Patriots have a better secondary.
I would say the
linebacking core. I think both are bad, but the Packers are better.
Jaire Alexander is better.
Jaire Alexander. He's not better than Stephon Gilmore.
I might put him.
He's not.
I might.
He's not as fast, or
yes, he is. He's a 4.3.
He's probably as fast. Stephon Gilmore's really fast.
I would still say he's really young.
And he's bigger.
He's still really talented.
I'm saying right now, next Sunday night, he's not going to be better.
I would say
Stephon Gilmore.
Yes.
We'll see what Madden ratings say next season.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
I'm picking the Packers in this game, and it's hard for me to do that because one of my friends is a Packers fan, and I hate it.
I'm going to pick the Patriots. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah, because you're a Patriots. Okay, whatever. Sorry.
Right, but
no, I understand.
You did pick the Giants to win more than one game this season.
I picked them to beat the Panthers, and they almost did.
Oh, look at that. Last game of the week, Monday night, Titans-Cowboys.
Cowboys.
I have to watch it because it's on a Monday, but I don't want to.
I keep forgetting to watch the Monday night.
Amari Cooper should be in this game because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So he should be in this game.
I still think he's Amari Cooper, though.
I think he's good.
I don't think he's the stud first-round pick that they think they're getting.
I think he's a receiver that says, I can get 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns.
He dropped 7% of the balls that were catchable last year, which is a big deal.
Which is a big deal, but still he's good. If he just...
He's still dropping balls this year.
I know. He needs to get better at looking the ball into his hands and catching it.
And when you look at that team, are you going to tell me that Dak Prescott is a better quarterback right now
No,
than Derek Carr?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Exactly. So how are you going to say he's going to do even better?
I don't think he's going to do better.
So then he's not going to be good because he's not good.
I think he's going to do as good as he did the first couple of seasons with the Raiders.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Which is top tier wide receiver, like a
Pro
wide receiver
Bowl.
1,
Yeah.
Pro Bowl consideration.
Yeah. For sure.
I think that's his peak with the Cowboys, though, just because of the limits of Dak Prescott.
No, here's the deal. They could have gotten. Never mind. I was just thinking about this. I don't think. No, Adam Thielen's definitely not on the trade block. If he was, and the Cowboys offered them a first-round pick, I bet you they'd accept it.
I bet they wouldn't. Adam Thielen's not super old. What do you mean?
I'd say they'd take a first-round pick.
For Adam Thielen?
Yes. A first-round pick is, not a lot for a wide receiver. I mean, it is a lot.
It is a lot, but how would you make your team better with that first-round pick? You gonna draft another Adam Thielen? No, you're not.
I mean, nobody... Who drafted Adam Thielen?
Nobody. He's undrafted. I'm just saying you're not going to be able to just find... There's only one Adam Thielen.
Yeah, I understand. All I'm saying is that the Cowboys could have gotten a better receiver with that first-round pick than they did.
I think they started going on the upside in the age.
If you told me... Yeah, I understand that. If you told me that they could spend a first-round pick on Amari Cooper or spend a fourth-round pick on Demaryius Thomas...
You'd spend the fourth-round pick, obviously.
I think that would be a no-brainer.
Yeah, obviously.
That no team would say...
Because first-round picks are valuable.
He's 6 years older, but who are you going to get in the first round? What are they shooting for? They can't shoot for wide receiver.
I'm still picking the Cowboys.
This is such a weak wide receiver draft. There's nobody in there.
Yeah, it's not good.
Riley Ridley's okay, and he's a freshman. How do you even
picking the Cowboys over the Titans.
Yeah, of course. I don't know why we went on that little tangent.
But
Cowboys
over Titans.
I think this is a lock. I don't think the Titans can do anything.
Is that your lock of the week?
Yeah, that's actually who I have for the lock of the week is the Titans versus Cowboys.
So you're so sure the Titans have no chance to beat the Cowboys? I
think they're going to score 12 points. And they're going to play mediocre.
You have to take into consideration Jason Garrett is the coach of the Cowboys. Will do anything he can do to mess it up.
Do not care.
I think Mike Vrabel is such a better coach
than
Jason Garrett already. Okay.
Which changes the whole entire game.
I know it does. I still don't think
Zeke is now going to
I think the Cowboys are going to win. I see what you're saying. I wouldn't call it a lock though.
For 120 in the
Jarrell Casey's going to have a good game. You know why? No Travis Frederick.
Yeah, that's why.
He plays 3-4 end. He's going to dominate. So it affects Ezekiel Elliott's production.
No. It doesn't.
All right.
Because Zeke is going to run wild on this deck.
All right, my lock of the week is Chiefs over the Browns. I think way safer than that.
Yeah. I can't pick the same lock as you. That's just
no. I have the way better ones.
Yeah, of course. If the Cowboys don't win by 2 scores, I'll just stop. Okay.
My lock of the week is not. I already told you.
You just said that.
My upset of the week.
Wait, who? Okay, who's your upset?
My upset of the week is the Lions over the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was talking about you with this earlier. You picked the Vikings to win this one?
All I'm saying is for your upset, you pick your upset because it's not I believe the Vikings should win this game, but I think the most likely team to upset a team they're not favored against is the Lions this week. Also, you didn't pick your upset to win.
No, I understand. Okay. My upset, which I think is just a much better one, is the Bills versus the Bears. Because, 2 weeks ago when you said Bears versus Dolphins, nobody picked that as an upset. But it happened. And I would say the Bills are almost as good as the Dolphins are.
Also, in a world where you strive to be almost as good as the Dolphins.
The 4-4 Dolphins.
We'll get there.
Khalil Mack hurt his ankle, didn't play last week. There's a chance that he doesn't play this week. It's a small chance. But
I think without him, they'll still win just because it's the Bills.
I got it as the upset of the week. They upset the fucking Vikings. Sorry for my swear. I didn't mean to.
It's your one swear.
Dang it! I was doing so well.
Yeah, like me in the first episode right now. Jeez,
take me back.
All right. Going into something new that actually isn't new. I've done it the last 2 podcasts that I actually haven't uploaded because of technical difficulties.
Oh, by the way, I haven't been here for the last 2
And Tim hasn't been here for the last 2 weeks. Neither have I, but I've recorded podcasts, I guess, just for myself.
So are they going to go up?
They're going to go up.
They should now.
They should have already. I think this will go up before them because this is taking priority because it's the most recent.
Yes.
And then you'll get the other ones if you want to, see what I thought about things.
If you want to, go back into the past.
And if you want to, experience our friend RJ on the pod. Different takes than Tim is what I'll say.
Some better sound quality.
You will get to hear us do this next segment for the two times in a row. This is going to be the third time I've done
this. I am not RJ, so this could be much different. So, are we doing this, or are we flipping a coin?
We're going to rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No, we're going to flip a coin.
Or flip a coin on the spot right now to figure out who gets the first or the second pick in our draft of college football teams we believe are going to make the playoffs. So what happens is, say I get the first pick.
Snake draft style.
It's snake draft style. Each of us gets 4 different teams out of this draft.
You can only pick a team one time. So if he picks Alabama, I cannot pick Alabama.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. And we're going to get 4 teams. Each week, if you don't want one of the teams you have anymore, it's waiver wire, like a fantasy league drop ad. Whoever so if you win the coin toss, I'm number 1 in the waiver wire next week, or the first. I get the first choice, and if I want to pick someone up,
understandable. So you want to call this in the air?
Yeah.
I'm flipping a penny, by the way.
I understand.
Okay.
Tails. Nice. Drop it on the floor.
What is it? You want me to reflip that?
Yeah, I do. Okay. Was it tails?
It was heads.
Reflip it.
It's technical.
Tails.
It's tails.
Lovely.
So do you want the first or
pick
second? Okay. I think I can work with that. Okay. So I'm going to go first. That means Eric will have the second and the third pick. I'll have the 4th and the 5th pick, and then Eric will have 6, 7. I will have 8.
Yes.
As the first pick, I think it's a clear lock to just put in Alabama. So I'll be picking Alabama with the first pick of the 2018 NCAA college football playoff draft.
So what I'm going to do right now is pick Clemson.
So that's the other lock, is Clemson.
And then there's sort of a baby lock, is what I would call it, with the next team, which is going to be Notre Dame.
I knew you'd say that. I'm okay with that.
Are you?
Yes, because my next pick is going to be Ohio State.
And then that means you're picking them over.
No, because I have the next picks here, so it doesn't really matter what the order would be. My next pick is Michigan.
So you're doubling up, sort of?
Yes, I'm going Ohio State and Michigan. 2 teams, right on the verge. Make it in.
So basically what you're doing right there, because they play each other, I don't think both Ohio State and Michigan are getting it in. So you're just saying,
obviously,
you're claiming one of those
is going to make
paths.
It in, is what I believe.
I can see that.
One of them makes it in.
My 6-7, which I think is going to close out my incredibly strong draft, is going to be LSU.
Okay.
Ranked 3rd right now. Obviously,
after this
things will change. Yeah.
Okay.
No, before this week.
I was going to say Notre Dame was ranked 3rd this week.
Maybe they're ranked 4th. It's one of those. I may have misread it. It doesn't matter. Because you picked Ohio State, Michigan, didn't see that coming, wanted one of those.
Of course you did.
So right now, things running through my head right now is, do I pick Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Or do I pick someone like Georgia?
You know, I feel like whatever you don't pick, I'm going to pick. Because I know I want one of those teams.
It's up to me to decide. I think Oklahoma's going to win.
It's tough because you pick Oklahoma. Are you picking Oklahoma?
Yes.
My
reason because that is my first instinct is pick Georgia, but I can't pick LSU and Georgia.
Right. Now here's
the thing. Doesn't work for me, so I have to pick Oklahoma.
My first instinct was pick Georgia, but a team like Texas has just a shot as Oklahoma does.
Yeah.
At making it.
I'm just thinking in my head, who has the biggest shot to go undefeated for the rest of the year and score a ton of points and just look really good?
Now, between LSU and Georgia, who do I think makes it?
I think Georgia over LSU because Georgia
Even though you picked LSU?
If in the situation, if it's one or the other,
right?
I think it's Georgia. If that means I'm picking Georgia, but it means Georgia won the SEC championship.
Okay.
Over LSU and Alabama. That means LSU. That means Georgia got in over Alabama for the SEC championship. That means Alabama lost,
which is not
going to happen. So if Georgia's in the SEC championship and they beat LSU, obviously they're in.
Right.
But I think LSU can lose to Alabama. Well, I don't know. I think LSU has to beat Alabama in the SEC championship to get in if they play each other.
Georgia?
Even though they beat Georgia, I'm just because you can't lose on the last week.
It's hard to predict this because it's not like any other sport.
No.
There's just a table of people that go,
yeah, I
think Ohio State should make it.
In my head, I'm thinking they're not going to put in a team that lost the last time they saw them.
Right.
Unless it's Alabama. I think Alabama can fall from 1 to 4 if they lose in the SEC championship.
With my last pick, this is tough, but I'm actually going to go with Texas.
You're going Texas.
I am.
They've been on a bit of a tear. Other than, did they not lose?
They did lose last week.
Yeah. Who did they lose to?
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but it was close.
Yep. And Oklahoma State has been the underdog the last 7 times, and they've won every time. So that's just like a habit.
It's like Texas losing to Maryland.
But between Oklahoma and Texas, who do I think should go?
Texas beat Oklahoma.
I think it would be Texas. So I'm going to say Texas.
But Oklahoma's going
to make it in over LSU.
I think the Oklahoma loss to Texas is a better loss for Oklahoma than the Texas loss to Oklahoma State and the Texas loss to Maryland.
Right.
So Oklahoma needs to stay clean and tear out.
But
I think they win in over Texas.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. So,
I mean, as it is, I think both of us right now have 2. I think
Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and like either Ohio State, Michigan. That you think
yes.
That's going to happen? I would say for sure.
I think the 4
Clemson
teams,
and Alabama are getting in.
The 4 teams in the playoffs right now are Alabama.
It's the SEC champion.
Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan are my top 4.
Right now, the teams I think get in are Alabama and the SEC championship champion, or just Alabama. Clemson, Notre Dame, because they're going to get in because they don't have a conference championship and they play easy teams for the most part. They just have.
That is one of the things they decide is toughness of schedule.
But people have.
That's why UFC hasn't made it. They literally don't lose, but they play pancakes the whole entire time.
Yeah, but they're also, I don't think they're as good because they only play pancakes.
Yeah, we're going to find out when they play like some solid teams coming out.
Yeah, that's true. And then, so Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and then it's going to be the winner of Ohio State or Michigan, whoever wins their division.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close. It'll be fun.
Yes.
Moving on to that, the last thing we're going to talk about is we're going to sort of do a deep, in-depth look at
the
trades that have happened, the notable trades that have happened within the last couple weeks. So we will not be talking about the Josh Gordon trade because it happened a year ago.
Isn't that kind of confusing?
It's kind of confusing. We just found out that Eli Manning is in the top 5 for passing yards.
4th, actually, not even.
That means top 5.
Yes, but like better.
I don't want to say top
5 if he was like first. Still top 5.
Good point.
It's top 32, dude.
The first trade we're going to talk about is Demaryius Thomas to the Texans for a 5th-round pick. The teams are swapping 7th-round picks, but that's not really relevant. So we're just going to say 5th-round
they move up like depending on where they finish this year, probably like 4 or 5 picks.
Yeah, so
maybe 10 if the Broncos really tank.
In the 7th round.
Yeah,
so not a huge deal.
Whoa, Mr. Irrelevant.
First inclination, who won this? I would say the Texans, just because I know Demaryius Thomas is older now, but you're not going to get the production from a 5th-round pick that you're going to get at Demaryius Thomas.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is the Broncos, they gain a 5th-round pick. So what? The Texans now have Demaryius Thomas for probably 2 or 3 more productive years as the second on that team. They just lost Will Fuller. Which they
elongate his prime,
right,
being a second option.
A great quarterback. I would say great. I mean, he's played very well these last 5 or 6 games.
All right, I mean,
a good running back. They're a playoff contender for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
I would actually put them as winning their division.
I think they will too.
Adding Demaryius Thomas adds to this. The only way that the Texans lose this trade is if somehow this year Demaryius Thomas gets hurt. That's the only way.
Yeah.
If he
then if he gets hurt for the rest of the season, that means he's not going to be good anymore.
Yeah, when he comes back, he's not going to be the same. They just lost a 5th.
At 29 as a wide receiver, if you get anything done with your knees that make you out a whole year, your career's over.
As a GM, a 5th-round pick is not the most valuable pick.
You could risk more.
Exactly. When, like I was saying, with Amari Cooper, a 1st-round pick is a lot.
Heck of a lot.
And I think it's too much. That's why. If they gave up a 3rd-round pick, I'd be pretty worried about this trade. I would say the Texans.
Yeah, max 4th. Yeah, and that would be probably fair.
If they gave him a 4th,
because I can't tell who's
with like a better 7th-round swap or something like that.
Yeah,
like a 6th and 7th swap. then I could say that's like pushing the limit. But I'm saying this right here was a pretty good trade for the Texans. They didn't give up a lot. They got production.
And the Broncos could always win this trade if they draft someone really good.
Exactly. If they pick, the future quarterback of the NFL somehow.
Yeah. The Broncos are in a weird spot because they're trading away weapons, but they signed Case Keenum in this sort of in-between contract.
And they came out and said last week, we are not in any trade talks with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. They said, we're not trading either of them. And then they traded. So, I don't know what to really make of that.
I think they're in a confusing spot. They can't fully rebuild. They can't fully push for anything.
Right, because they could win out and get a mediocre
for
draft
8 and 8,
like a mid pick. Yeah. What are they? 4 and 4?
It's a weird spot.
3 and 5. They gonna buy this week?
The Broncos?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not in a good spot.
I think they got 3 wins.
They lost to the Chiefs most recently.
Twice
now. Moving on to the next trade, it's going to be Golden Tate, wide receiver formerly of the Lions, to the Eagles for a 3rd-round pick.
Now, the Lions win this trade.
I think they win this trade only because of Golden Tate's age.
Yes.
If Golden Tate is as talented as he is now,
season in the NFL.
This needs to be 3 years ago.
Exactly.
And this is a good trade.
A 3rd-round pick is quite valuable. You can get a very solid
at that point,
offensive lineman or running back in the 3rd round.
Yeah, you can pick up a franchise center in the 3rd round.
Exactly. Golden Tate is now going to compete for the 1st or maybe 2nd.
He plays
spot.
slot, so he's competing with Nelson Aguilar for touches now. He's not going to get as much.
So he's competing for the 2nd value on that wide receiver.
He was always the volume guy.
Yeah, he's the one on the line.
Because he's in the slot. So what that means is Alshon Jeffrey never goes for 100 receptions this season anyways. He's sort of he's a red zone threat. Yeah. That's what he is. So now Golden Tate can help move the chains, help first down, sort of an extension of the running game. That's going to help them, especially with their – this is as a move for the passing game as it is for the running game, for their short yardage stuff, just because they can't – on first downs, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Right.
Now with Golden Tate, it can be a quick pass.
It's tough to say either team won this. I just don't think the Eagles can get enough value out of.
Yeah, next year they're going to say, "I kind of wish I had the 3rd pick."
I understand
because they're in the. If they don't win the Super Bowl, worth it.
Yeah,
totally worth it because you won a Super Bowl.
Of course.
If they don't win a Super Bowl, they didn't win this trade.
Right, and for that 3rd-round pick, if they would have picked a wide receiver in the 3rd round, it would not have been Golden Tate.
No,
as he is right now, I would say. But they could have, like I said...
This is another weird move, too, from the team that traded.
Yeah.
Because the Lions, I'm not thinking of, they need to unload. Why would they trade Golden Tate?
They're not
Matthew
rebuilding.
Stafford isn't young enough to rebuild, and he's not too...
They just traded for DeMond Harrison.
Yeah.
So they acted like, we want to, up our team's value. But then they're like, okay, we'll take a 3rd-round pick and play for next year, kind of.
It's weird, because Stafford is in he's in, a 5-year span where these are the years he has to win.
Right.
Because I don't see him.
I see him somewhere else.
Aging like Carson Palmer did.
He was still pretty
good,
solid.
and then the last year is the last year.
Yeah.
So
I think who really won this trade is Marvin Jones. I think his targets.
I would say
almost double now because him and Kenny Golladay are the only 2 people Matthew Stafford is going to think about throwing it to.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think he won that trade bigger than anybody. Any fantasy guys that can go pick up Marvin Jones, do it.
Or Kenny Golladay.
Yeah, because that will be a great play.
Moving on to the next show, we're going to talk about sort of an afterthought, sort of a move not as big. Ty Montgomery to the Ravens for a 7th.
I think
this is coming.
This is a spite trade. This is Packers are saying
a 7th
you lost
is nothing.
Us the game.
They don't want him on the team.
We probably can't make the playoffs now. We have a tough schedule. You're out.
They needed that win. That was huge.
When they played the Seahawks in the playoffs, and I'm not sure about his name, Brandon Browner, muffed an onside kick, and the Seahawks got it and won the game. They cut him immediately after.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they're doing. They lost him a game. You're off the team.
Yeah, which is and he did it in sort of a selfish way. It wasn't.
They told him to take a knee.
Yeah, and he ran. So
and he said, "I'm doing this."
That was selfish, and you can understand why they don't want him on the team.
And
as far as winning this trade, I have to say the Ravens, just because I think he's worth a little bit more than a 7th.
Yeah, I would too, but
he could also never touch the field.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think.
But at the same time,
do they keep him
the
at a running back?
7th round pick is never going to touch the field anyway.
Do they keep him out of running back, or do they put him at wide receiver again? I don't know. If they put him at wide receiver, he might play. Because they don't have a lot of studs on that team. John Brown is like a young, developing guy. Michael Crabtree is old.
Yeah.
If they put him at running back, Alex Collins and Javoris Allen are like holding it down.
What? For some reason, there's two Allens.
That's the same guy.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think Javoris Buck Allen.
Is that what it is? Because I've seen people talk about two of them.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's the same guy.
I kept looking for highlights of both. You know?
Buck Allen. Why do they keep showing Javoris, dude? I don't get it.
Can we pick a name?
If they keep him at running back, he doesn't benefit from it. If they put him at wide receiver, he benefits more, but not.
I can't tell where I'd want to live either. Baltimore or Wisconsin or like Green Bay. Probably. Yeah. I can't. I don't know.
I would probably say Baltimore.
Probably. It seems like it's happening more.
Dangerous, but not cold.
It can't all
dead.
be dangerous. I've just seen bad things on the news. Like
it's pretty dangerous.
I don't know.
It's like one of the most dangerous.
I don't want to speak for Baltimore people.
Yeah, sorry Baltimore. If we don't mean to offend you.
Moving on. No politics, Tim. That's what I said.
The one rule.
Moving on. Dante Fowler to the Rams for a 3rd and a 5th.
I don't like this. Well,
I think Dante Fowler is being wasted on the Jags. I think a 3rd and a 5th is pretty good because he's never going to start for you if you're the Jags in his prime, probably, because Yannick Ngakoue is a revelation at the position. He's so good. Miles Jack is a completely different position, but I agree with you.
Linebacker?
Dante Fowler is it? And
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So different.
Sorry. Yeah, Dante Fowler's never but he will start on the Rams. They need that outside pressure. They got to come.
They do because like Samson Ebukam can't do that.
Yeah, and it's tough because if they expect to pay him what he thinks he's worth,
it's gonna be way more than what they think he's worth.
And it's not gonna happen. Now the other thing is the Jets were in trade talks with the Jags at the beginning of the year for Dante Fowler, and I'm not sure if they offered or if that's what the Jags wanted was a 2nd and a 7th round pick. But a 3rd and a 5th, if the Jets could have pulled the trigger on that, they should have.
They should have.
For sure.
And maybe the Jets are thinking we don't want to pay him as much as he wants to get paid, and we're not going to win anything. We don't want to win more games.
We want to get like Jets. A good pick.
We want like one of those good picks. Moving on. A surprise to me was Clinton Dix to the Redskins for a 4th.
Now, I knew he was on the trade block. I didn't think that they would say after this one loss.
They have enough money to pay him. They shouldn't be rebuilding.
Now, you see, they have enough money to pay him.
But they don't want to.
They don't like paying guys.
That's why Micah Hyde's on their team.
Yeah.
That's why Sam Shields is on their team. That's why
Casey
Hayward's on their team.
All guys that have just played very well. I mean, other than Sam Shields, he hasn't really played super tremendously. But as leaving the Packers and playing better,
it happens to them all.
Yep. And now he's in a better defense. The Redskins are a much better
pairing
defense.
Pairing Clinton Dix with DJ Swearinger is a fantastic move with Josh Norman and Quentin Dunbar.
And a good
That's a decent secondary.
Defense.
They have Zach Brown, good in the middle linebacker. They have a great front 7 at stopping the run.
Yes.
Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen.
Ioannidis is going off.
He's terrifying. He's a terrifying human being.
What is up with them drafting like white pass rushers that are like doing well? Ryan Kerrigan, great.
Ioannidis, great.
Now they have Darren Payne.
That's definitely how you pronounce it. It's definitely not Duran. Totally.
I think it's Darren.
You do this with every.
I don't want to say.
It's definitely Daron Payne, dude.
Darren Payne.
It's not Darren. We know that.
Okay, Daron Payne. Did I just say Darren Payne?
No, dude, it's Daron Payne. I don't know why this is so hard.
You just said it was Darren, dude.
I said, all right, whatever.
Anyway, he's really good. All we wanted to say was he is good.
Wow. A sweet set of analysis skills on us, huh? I say the Redskins win this trade.
For sure. What'd they give up for him, sir?
A 4th. For a franchise safety, I would give up a 4th.
Yes, because, people are drafting franchise safeties in the 1st round.
Unsuccessfully.
Quite often, too.
It's a hard position to get. Moving on to the penultimate trade we're going to be talking about. Big word of the day.
Penultimate?
Yeah. Means second to last.
I get it, dude.
I'm just helping out the listeners. Damon Harrison, not Damon Harrison. To the Lions for a 5th round pick. This is sort of a less recent pick, but it's recent enough for us to talk about.
Yes.
How old is Damon Harrison? He's still the best run defender in the league.
He's not all pro, but he's Pro Bowl level talent.
He's the best nose tackle in the league at stopping the run.
Including this year, will be 3 years left on his contract before they need to renew him. So
Which they won't do.
They get him for a solid 2 years of run stop, which is great.
And the run will be stopped.
Yes.
He eats it.
He's 100 tackles a year.
He's massive. That's why they call him Snacks.
He's just eating shit all the time. Second swear of the pod. Take 2 weeks off, you forget the rules.
Do you think the Lions won this? I think a 5th round pick is... I don't know.
Yeah.
Stopping the run's hard, like a thing you need to be able to do.
Definitely. Because I think a team would have given up a third and like a
That's how I look at it.
Or a fourth.
Could you have gotten a fourth for that guy?
I think teams would have given better. Now,
I think so.
It's hard to say that because
that's what they got. So we don't know. You think they take the best
they
offer?
Get a better offer, unless it was from like the Cowboys and they didn't want to like send them to their division. But it's also possible, just like not a lot of teams were in trade talks with them. Not a lot of teams saw the
bad
value.
market for a run stopper, maybe.
Exactly. And they said, like we could probably just get one of the.
I think the Lions might have played the market here, gotten a good deal.
I mean, when you think about it, I know this isn't really how this works, but like, trade Golden Tate, you get DeMont Harrison, you move back 2 rounds in the trade. I would say that's like a pretty solid trade.
Yeah.
As of like for the position.
And their ages line up, so you get them for about the same amount of years. I would say, yeah, that's comparable.
DeMont Harrison is younger.
Damon Harrison? Yeah, he's younger. I don't know who DeMont Harrison is.
That goddamn Darren dude.
So different.
Daron. I think it's Daron.
It is Daron. Moving on to Eli Apple getting traded to the Saints for a 7th round pick.
This is silly.
It's dumb because I don't want Eli Apple on my team, but at the same time, I think he's worth more than a 7th round pick.
Of course he's worth more than a 7th round pick.
But at the same time, he's kind of a cancer for the locker room. You've been saying this.
Cancer. I understand that.
And as a Giants fan, you kind of have to be happy to be rid of him.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, our defense did.
You shouldn't want them to be good anyways.
Yeah, of course. But, like, they spend a 1st round pick to get Eli Apple. The first year, he plays very well. The second year was 3-13. You can't expect him to play super amazing on that team. Their defense wasn't playing very well at all. This year, did the same thing.
I think just his extracurricular activities and like the way he represents himself just wasn't something they wanted to be a part of.
Right now, I can't say he's any better than Janoris Jenkins. I mean, any worse. Because they're both not playing very well.
Yeah. And he's older. Mm-hmm. I say a 7th round pick. I would take a 7th. I would take a 6th. I wouldn't do it for a 5th. I'd say 6th is
maybe
the
highest
I'm
I'm
going to go.
And then a swap.
From the Patriots, I'm going to do it for a 5th because it's the 6th round pick, basically.
Yeah, and like.
But if I'm the Patriots, I don't want.
They don't care about draft picks.
They don't care because none of them are playing.
Yes.
Apparently, it doesn't matter to draft in the NFL.
Sony Michel is like the only one. The other guy they got.
We'll see.
Their left tackle.
Not in. The wide receiver they drafted, not in. The cornerback, not in. The linebacker, not in.
Yeah.
Great. So that concludes the trade talk.
The trade talks.
And at the same time, it concludes the podcast.
Does it actually? I want to say something.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Boston College, very close.
They got 6 wins, don't they?
Eligible, they sure do. And they beat. I'm not sure they beat last.
Beat a team I didn't think they would be.
Same. Yes.
Miami, right? Did they beat Miami?
Actually, I was watching that game.
You didn't think to watch to the end?
All of it, no.
I have them on my my hot reads. Yeah, they beat Miami 27-14.
So they're 6-2.
Yeah, they're gonna make the bowl game. I'm very sorry, Ethan. I was wrong.
No, you see, I can't say that they're going to make.
I think because they beat Miami, they're gonna either beat Virginia Tech.
Tech.
Virginia Tech, Florida State, or Syracuse.
I think they'll beat Syracuse.
Boston College is ranked now. Huh?
How are they ranked? Where?
22nd.
22nd. That's not bad. I think they can beat Florida State.
They definitely should. And you know what? Ethan, dear friend, lovely questioner, you were right and I was wrong. I think.
No, he wasn't right. He just asked.
We knew what he wanted us to say. We denied him.
You're sorry.
AJ Dillon's too good, apparently.
Yes.
He's insane. He erupted for 149 yards and a touchdown. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
I think that.
You know where I'm not wrong? Think you're going to be wrong in the Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, bet? Yeah, about my Odell Beckham Jr. bet.
He's too touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. I predicted 7.
And he definitely has enough. He's on pace for yards, for more than enough yards.
More than enough. Now, here's the thing.
He won't get the touchdowns.
Will he?
No.
The last 8 games of their season are
He's going to get more or less.
These are garbage games. These are games that teams aren't playing because they know they're going to win.
Eli Manning will literally have a prosthetic arm by the end of the season.
This was my other argument. If at this point in the season, Odell had 3 touchdowns, he would be on par to get 7.
For 6. He'd be on par for 6.
But you can't get 3.5 touchdowns.
No, so you want him to be on 4, so he's on par for more.
Because then he's on par for 8, not 7. He also has a passing touchdown, which is 3 touchdowns.
He's no, because you didn't know what you meant. That doesn't count.
I literally just said 7 touchdowns.
Everyone knows what you meant. This is not how you get up a bet. Also,
might win the bet.
No, because you won't be exactly 7 and 462. 1462.
1462. Do we think that?
Yes, I think you won't.
If you say give or take 50 yards and give or take 1 touchdown, I'll be correct.
It's way easier,
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but it is.
Predict Julio.
0 touchdowns, 1,000,000 yards.
Give or take 1,000,000. Give or take 999,000.
Either way.
Yeah, probably wouldn't, dude.
All right.
I think
that's going to do it.
That's going to conclude
That's going to do it. Yeah. Thanks for listening. If this isn't up on Wednesday, I'm sorry.
Somebody please contact us because something's wrong.
Yeah, this request won't be heard by them.
Until we have.
So, there we go. Thank you guys for listening. We'll check in with you next week. Hope you're listening on Wednesday.
Yes.
Till next time.
See you.